Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. This guy in the other side of the screen is Rico Viland. I'm Al Berrell, and welcome to our seventh episode. Today, we are going to talk about the learning process. We are going to talk about our own experience, about books, and about masters. Welcome to Invisible Practice podcast. So, welcome, Rico, one more week.
Thank
this
you. Thank you for having me on the podcast again, Alvo.
welcome. So welcome to the Netherlands. Um,
Welcome to Spain. Yeah, like overall said, we're going to be talking about learning magic. It was right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So books, theory, but I guess like how to learn magic from books.
yeah, actually, I was having like a mental plan, and
Mm-hmm.
my first questions to you is like, I would love to know your general opinion about the learning process. Like common mistakes, like when someone starts in magic, things that
Mm-hmm.
makes us to progress, in a very slower way, and these kind of things, like
Mm-hmm.
very common things.
Right. So actually, like when you started talking about this now, like something interesting came up because a few days ago, I believe it's 2 days ago, I got interviewed by this guy who writes this monthly article for the Dutch magazine of magicians. Like it's like the Dutch magic organizations has this magazine, and this article is called "As Seen on Social Media." And he writes like stuff he sees on social media that he finds interesting to show it to people. And he found a visible practice, and he thought, oh, that would be cool to show it to people. He interviewed me, and he said to me that he noticed that we're very fond of books, and if I thought books were better than video. And I told him yes and no, because I think books are actually a really good tool for learning, but so are video. But the thing is that on a video you can only show someone as much. Like you can only show them this much. Like you have 1.5 hours maybe for a video, and you can only tell them as much information, like limited to have 1.5 hours. Where in a book, you can just go full Tamaris and just write a book this thick, just only magic theory, right? And like to give you a comparison, a normal notebook looks like this. This is fucked up. It's a great book and I love it, but you can go much deeper into a book. However, in the old books, they talk about how video would be such a great progression for magic because you can see how slides are done. And in some way, for timing's sake, video might be better in some way because you have, for example, I'm working on the Charming Chinese Challenge right now on Pipo Vinueba's version. I hope I said it correctly. Probably not. Probably I'm torturing his name. Anyway, Pipo has at the end like this beautiful move, and if I would read this in a book, I probably wouldn't get the proper rhythm of the last sort of move to get the coin off the court. But because I see the video and because he explains it, and of course like Gabi's theory of the hierarchy of the hands, one hand does one thing, the other one does the other thing. Him using that theory together with showing the move like really shows me like okay, so that's how this thing should be done, right? But at the same time, I think books are better worth your money for learning magic. Because, well, Tamaris's book is the bad example because the book is really expensive. But um, let's go to Expert Card Technique. Expert Card Technique at the moment, you can get it for 17 euros. That book is mostly Charlie Miller. It's mostly freaking amazing magic, really strong, powerful magic. Roy wrote the card magic, not Charlie Miller, but really good, powerful, strong magic, which is gonna change your game. And if you have to learn magic, you either pay 17 euros or dollars, wherever you are, for that one book, or you're gonna be spending about 200 euros worth of downloads to get the same knowledge if you buy the right downloads. So that's already why I would say it's worth better to learn from books. But at the same time, like I think if you look at like mythology and history, it's very important for every culture to know their history, right? To know where they're from, to know their heritage. And books are the heritage of magic. They are basically the ground, like the ground stones, or the whole foundation of the house of magic that we've built, or in all of those books, and the ideas of the masters and the development of the routines. And you can see as the years go on how the magic has developed and how the routines have changed. So I think that's very important. But like you asked, what is a common challenge with this? Well, you cannot see the timing. You might not be able to imagine the routine. So in some way, having a master or teacher or someone showing you on video how to do something can help you with how something is supposed to look. On the other hand, if we just do a very basic exercise, we can help this, which is how should this look in reality, right? If I do a double lift, it shouldn't look like a double lift. It should look like you're turning over a single card, right? So you just imagine in your mind, sort of like, okay, how would a perfect double lift look like? And you create like a mental movie and you try to imagine it, visualize it, and then you can see it. You go, okay, I'm gonna try to do this. Or even, how should the fuck should I do this? I'm not good at visualizing. Single card. Oh, that's then also how my double lift should look like, right? Because that's the way you do it. So I think that's the way to solve it, to help it. But I see very funky, weird timings and ways of doing techniques because people misread them in books, for example.
Well, yeah, I think there's something else, like I don't know how to describe it, but it happened to me, when I started in magic. But I was lucky because I have like very good mentors in magic. And like when I started in magic, someone told me like I should learn how to hold back, how to hold. And I
So
was
how to hold what?
like yeah, how to hold back, like how to hold like I was all the time saying like I want to learn that, I
Oh,
want
like
to
this.
learn that.
Okay.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I was like starving,
Mm-hmm.
like of knowledge. I wanted to learn everything. I wanted to see everything. I wanted to practice everything. And it sounds like it's stupid, So I think it's very good if you are interested if you have interest on everything, At the same time, it's very good if you follow some steps,
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you realize about what's the good, way and where is the the trash, you're going to be able to follow the good way, I
But would
mean,
you have any like criteria for that? Like, let's say you don't know anything about magic, then how are you gonna differentiate between the good way and the trash?
yeah, it's going to sound like very, very relative, like, but what I'm saying is like many people who start in magic don't have, like an idol, So it's very good if you have like someone to follow, because if you try to learn something from him, from her, if you have someone, to follow, to learn like some material, you're going to be focused on one thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very important in my personal experience because I had a mentor, and I wanted to learn everything from this person. So if this person, for example, my mentor told me, I think you should wait for this, and you should practice this other thing. So I was practicing, for example, the MSLA account before practicing the pass, and maybe he was wrong, but I followed his steps, and his advices, and it made sense in the moment, you know.
Mm.
So maybe you are wrong, you know, picking, you know, someone as an idol, you know, as a reference, but I think it's very
Yeah, but
important.
I suppose that in that moment you're saying, I want to do magic like this person,
Yeah,
right?
or
And then you just follow the way to do it. Like,
someone that you admire. Yeah, like having a refer.
but do you think there's any way for like let's say like for me personally, for example, um, I didn't have a mentor when I started out right away. That's something that came later. But let's say we're talking to someone that starts out right now, and because in the Netherlands right now it's sort of all the mentors are dead, they all died or left. Um, there's still some pretty good ones here, but like that you could learn a lot from. But like let's say the masters, they're gone. Sadly enough, if you would have someone that's starting out in such a situation, or that doesn't know anyone around him, and by chance would stumble upon you, right? What would you recommend him to differentiate between those things? To still learn magic in a way that's gonna help him to progress throughout the art and not get stuck into a buying loop where you get greedy because you love this thing, you want more knowledge of this. I want to learn this and that and this and that and this and that. And in the end, you're sort of lost in things, in routines you have, but you can't really do any of them when you don't learn much from them anymore.
Well, my theory is quite simple. If internet has been like a tool to spread, you know, like bad things, I think we can use it like a tool to spread good things, you know.
Mm.
So, for example, you can use it to contact magicians, you know, from your same city. You can you can use it to contact magicians from different cities to get master classes through Zoom or Skype or whatever. So that's a good point as well. You can use it to watch online lectures. You can. So what I'm saying is like if you want to start in magic, uh, I don't want to go with books because I prefer to leave it for later, you know. But there are like some fundamental steps, you know, like of course you should try to have a. Gabby used to say like before to learn, you know, before you start learning, you know, like how to do some secret movements with the deck of cards or with the coins, or that, you have to be you have to be familiarized with the element, you know.
Mm.
So if you know how to roll the coins through your fingers, if you don't know how to hold the deck of cards in your hand, if you don't know how to hold a ball, how to feel it and the
Mm.
texture of the ball, if you're not conscious about these things, you are not going to be a good magician because you are not going to know anything about the element, you know.
Mm.
So this is the first thing. Then if you want to be a good magician, to have a good magician, of course you have to try many elements, but you have to study card magic and coins for sure. That's like
Mm.
something that you have to do. Why? Because card magic is the most evolutionary branch of magic, and coin magic. If you don't want to take coin magic, you can take a different one. But in my opinion, coin magic is like the branch of magic that is going to give you like the discipline because the sound of a coin, you know, falling and rolling like it's going to humiliate you. And if you can, you know, stand, you know, like this feeling, you know, of humiliation, you know, like rolling the coin, you know, in your room, you know, over and over again, and if you are able to presentate a clean routine in front of an audience, like using
Mm.
your sleeves or whatever, like with difficult techniques, you are going to be a good magician.
Mm.
That's my theory, but this is a personal opinion,
Yeah, but I also think it's a good theory because in general, those close up things, when they're properly studied, they also give you like proper context to then later do magic on stage, to transfer your magic on stage, because it teaches you a certain nuance and a sort of perfection in techniques as well as in the direction that you're going with your psychological direction. On stage, you can flash more. But still not doing that on stage can help you tremendously, because there might still be that one person all the way in the left of the audience that sees you flash. Or if you just got that bit more nuance, like your audience like can feel it. Like Tamaris would say, I don't know why.
yeah.
That's a mystery to me. But they feel it, you know.
Totally, totally. But yeah, I think in this case, internet can help us, a lot to afford this,
Mm.
this situation, and yeah, and then we can talk about, for example, the books or the mentors or whatever. And for example, there are like some books or some theories or some magicians that you can't avoid to study them, if you want to be a good magician, because it's
Mm.
stupid. It's like, for example, you can't be a
Who would be
mathematician
your
if you
top?
don't know how to.
Who would be your top five today?
My top five, what?
Who would be your top five today? So today, like where we're right now on the 30th of June 2021, who would be your top five magicians for close-up magic, like that you cannot do without studying? It would just be like a general bad life decision if you don't study these people.
This is a trap.
I know, that's why it's fun. Go.
Yeah, but you have to make the difference between the interpretation, the study. Um, for example, let me tell you something. If we want to learn about the secret, of course, we have to study burning. Okay.
Mm.
If we want to learn about means direction, we have to study, or for example, Sladini. Okay. And
Or Tommy
tension.
Wonder or Scania.
Yeah. Uh, Slidini, Tommy Wonder, for example, or Ascania. Even
But I guess
Gary
Scania
Portugal.
would be better for structure, right? Than
Yeah,
than, than
in
for.
my opinion, is like construction cover. Yeah.
Mm.
If you want to study about, for example, timing,
Mm.
Boschman, Ramsay, you know, if you want to study about how to communicate to the audience, and how to be like the perfect professional, you should study Fred Capps. And I can continue. Or
Mm.
Tamaris, for example, the perfect
Mm.
professional can be, in different stages. Fred Capps or Tamaris. Tamaris is awesome. I've seen
Mm.
Tamaris like many times in life, and this is one of the most amazing experiences in my life. Awesome, awesome,
Or if
simply.
you want to study how to be an artist, then Rene Lafont.
Course. That's
Yeah.
just the next step, relevant.
Mm.
So I can continue, with many others. What I'm saying is like it depends on the moment, you are. But
Mm.
if you start in magic, you have to learn some things about the element and about magic. For example, something that you should learn and something that every single book of magic should have is like the conception that Ascanio put on his book, what is like it's important that the spectator don't see the secret, but it is even more important that the spectator don't feel and don't even realize that it
Mm.
could exist a secret.
Yeah, but that's also like whenever I have a conversation with like someone that doesn't do magic about magic, and I notice that they're genuinely interested in it, like they're not just asking it for shits and giggles, but they genuinely want to know a bit more. Um, I tell them very often, like, well, one of the biggest misconceptions about magic, like one of the biggest memes, which is like a culturally believed idea, is that we are very quick with the fingers, that we use quick sleight of hand. Because we don't use quick sleight of hand, we use smooth sleight of hand. At least if it's good, it's smooth. It's not quick, it's smooth. Because a quick move, if I would do a really quick side steal, you would see it. You would know immediately, like, you wouldn't see what's happening, but you would see something and you go, he did something there. Well, if you do something perfectly smooth and slow, it can make it look like what you're saying, like they don't even feel it. And someone goes like, yeah, but you didn't do anything. What the fuck? So but that's also like, I guess this is something when I went into magic I had to figure out, because if you feel nervous you have the tendency to rush things, to go quicker over things. Well, if you get something very good in your system and you do something properly, something actually looks much better for some weird reason. Even if there is a moment when the coin should be, if you do like a pass with a coin, right, where you palm it, that would look even better if you do it slow than if you would do it quick. Because for some weird ass fucking reason, your mind shows you a coin that flies through the air to the other hand that never existed. But
Yeah.
still, your mind shows it to you. And if you've seen this move often enough, right now as a magician, you saw a coin fly from this hand to this hand.
Yeah.
See, and I think that's a very important thing to consider. And with what you're saying also, I think that's why for card magic, Royal Road is such a perfect book, because if you study it and you're a beginner, because it teaches you, hey, here's the way to do an overhand shuffle.
Yeah.
Now this you can do with an overhand shuffle. Now this is the way to make it a false move, and this is the way that you can use this move. And it teaches you all the handling. Here's an overhand shuffle. First learn this. Okay, now you can learn how to retain one card. Now you can learn how to retain multiple. Now you can learn how to retain a stock. Now you can learn what to do when you can retain a stock. Oh, by the way, you could do this. Here is a table shuffle. By the way, you can also do the same things with a table shuffle as an overhand shuffle if you change these techniques up a little bit. By the way, doing a table shuffle with certain stacks, you can do very cool shit. Here is something you can play with. Right? So, like with what you're saying and with Gabi's conception, I think that book is perfect if you're a beginner to learn card magic, because it teaches you how to handle the elements
Yeah.
before it goes on to like, here's a double lift, here's a top change, here's a palm, here's this weirdest fucking move you're never going to use for anything else, but it looks cool and you can use it for this routine because I came up with this move, so I had to come up with a routine, but that's not really a good routine, but hey, here it is.
Yeah. I had an like kind of argument with my friend Eduardo Kaufman, once, like long time ago, because he used to say like the Royal Road to Car Magic wasn't like a great book because there were like many jumps, like huge jumps, in the book, he said, and suddenly you have to learn how to do the pass, and I feel like the amateur isn't ready to learn it, and everything like that. And I told him, I don't like when people grabs a book of magic and they don't see the date when the date of the book, when the book was published, and they don't try to compare the this thing, this detail with the environment, with the context, because the life rhythm, when the book was published, is totally different to the
Mm.
life rhythm that we have today, because at that moment, people had to work very hard to practice just how to hold the deck of cards.
Mm.
And today you go to YouTube and you have like thousands and thousands of tutorials of many things, you know. So for sure, when a person arrives to the chapter, you know, when the passes where the past was explained, the, this person was more than ready to learn it because people from these years, you know, they were more than ready. They were practicing all the day, you know, and of course, and if you weren't, you know, it was like a test, you know, I don't know, like a hobby test. You know, if you really like it,
Mm.
you have to be ready. You know, and
Exactly. And I think that's a very good thing as well, you know, because look, no one, like today we say, oh, the pass, that's a hard move. In that book, no one is telling you that. It's just here's an over and shuffle, here's a riffle shuffle, here's a pass. And you don't know it's a hard move. And I think already, like, people saying to you, this is a hard move, is making it harder for you to learn. Because you don't go on, like, I want to get this move down, but you just go like, oh, yeah, but that's a hard move. I should be easy on myself. I'll go back tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Instead of just keep going, like, freaking passing like a mad person, put some metal music on and just, you know. Um, I think not telling people it's a hard move is a good thing, but also giving them a hard move to begin with is a good thing because you're showing them, oh, by the way, if you really want to master this craft or learn more stuff or do the really cool stuff, you got to learn these moves. Now I'm not good at a pass, but I can do a spread pass or turnover pass invisibly. But the classic pass I suck at. But I just never really used the move for nothing really. So
there's something that I used to talk with one of my mentors. You know, like Marcos Alberto Gino de Calderon, and it was very interesting because he was like very close to. Apparently, he was very close for a period of time to Pepe Carroll, and we used to talk about the balance, you know, between how powerful a technique can be, you know, and how difficult a technique can be, you know. So people usually, for example, today, a teacher, you know, a professor, this person teaches you a technique depending on the difficulty of this technique, you know. So maybe in the fourth class, this person shows you the double lift, for example, you know, because apparently you only have to get a break on the two cars, you know, try to keep them together and, you know, turn over two cars as one, like one, you know. And that's all, you know. So our conversation was very interesting because it was like, yeah, it's very, apparently it's very simple, you know. Actually, it isn't. But the thing is, in the other side of the balance, you have to put how powerful this technique can be, you know? So then the balance is again, you know, like, so this is not a technique that a very amateur magician should learn. It should be a technique that you should delay on the learning process.
mm,
That's why you should learn a pass, not maybe in the beginning, but very close to the beginning in the learning
mm,
process, but you learn a pound between the middle and the ending, you know, in the learning process. Because a pound is very powerful, but it's quite hard as well if you compare it with other techniques. Do you know what I
mm.
mean?
Yeah, definitely. And but also to get back on it, like people say double lift is easy. That's not true. It's one of the harder moves in card magic. People say it's easy because yeah, it's easy to turn over two cards, but it's a completely different matter to make turning over two cards look exactly the same like you turn over a single card. That's a completely different move. But on the other hand, like look, it's a much more powerful like what you say. It's a much more powerful tool, and you're gonna be able to use it much better if you have a much greater knowledge and starting point of magic. Otherwise, you learn this really powerful tool all the way in the beginning, but you don't know what to do with it. It's like, here's the power of God. You can do whatever you want, but the only thing that you know how to do is how to make money, you know? It's like, well, that's cool, but you could do so much more, dude.
Yeah, what I always recommend to anyone is like spend a couple of years in Magic, or maybe 3 years, whatever. But when I spent like my first 4 or 5 years in Magic, I tried to find a mentor, and I spent a whole summer in Malaga, where my family has an apartment, and I had my books there, and I spent like 8 hours every day studying Magic, and I tried to find the perfection, and to improve all my techniques. And after this, because before of this, there was a lecture with three magicians, like the title of the lecture was something like oh, tribute to the great masters from Spain, something like that. So there were three magicians. One of them was Miguel Ángel Gea. The other two were Miguel Ajo and Jose que soy yo. Jose que soy yo, it's a very interesting magician. And Miguel Ajo was one of the year that Eduardo and I won one of the national prizes. He won like the great Prix in Grand Prix in Spain. Well, so after this lecture, one of my mentors told me, study hard this summer, and after the summer, I will teach you. So I was studying, hardly all during the summer, 8 hours every day, boom, 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 boom. And I felt like if everyone, could do this, everyone would be better. So I know 8 hours is a lot. You don't have to do this, but what I mean is like try to have a goal, and try to achieve it,
Mm.
it's easier than people think, but you have to have a goal. Like, I don't know. You said before, like you sucking doing the past. I mean, I really know if you have, like the goal to rehearse every day the
Mm.
past, you would
I
be
know.
very bad. But there
I don't
are
have
other
that goal.
techniques. Yeah, but for example, in your case, you don't have like the need of doing, like the pass, the classic pass, because you have all the
Yeah,
techniques.
but that's because I do like, yeah, exactly. Like, like you've seen me perform. The two moves I use most to control, the three moves I use most to control a card is a side steal, the pulse spread pass, or an overhand shuffle. Like, you see me perform, and probably every time I either use that or I use a crimp. but because those are all very powerful tools.
Yeah. So
And to me, aesthetically speaking, they give me the ideas I want to give to the audience. Either the card doesn't move, the whole deck is shuffled, or I put it back and he didn't touch it anymore. Or, I mean, like, of course, also you have DPS or something, which I love, or palms. Like some of the amazing palms you show me, like the automatic ones are dope.
those are cool, really,
The
really
Marlowe
cool.
ones, like, oh my god.
Really cool. Yeah,
But again, those things, that's much further down the learning process.
yeah, but yeah, it's the same, like you have like, I think there is in the learning process there is a moment where everyone, like gets like very obsessed for new things, or like for very freak things and movements. I think today is more like about cardistry movements, and
Mm.
combos and everything. When I was studying Magic, it was with hard techniques,
Mm.
and I remember, like with double things, and crazy ideas, and
Double color changes and stuff. double ordinance changes. But also like regarding to this, like the way that magic culture is going, how it was, where it's going, it was a very good lesson you learned to learn how to hold back. Because otherwise you're gonna be able to, like you're gonna be like you learn this technique, can't do it, can't do it. I can sort of do it, and then you go to this place where you think, oh, I can do it, not realizing that you still have to go this far to be able to make the technique completely invisible and performable. And from here, you immediately go to do something else, you know?
Yeah.
If you learn how to hold back, you keep working on that one thing. And then someone could tell you, work on this, work on this, work on this. Now it looks good. Okay, now you can go from the Elmsley account to the Jordan account. You know what? I think you're finally ready to learn a double lift, whatever. But it's important to hold back, to learn that, to make everything you do impeccable. And that's also what many great masters say. It's better to be able to do 10 routines with perfection than to be able to do 100 just.
Yeah. That's why it's very important as well that people who are starting in magic, when they go to learn magic, the school of magic or just in the meeting group, that the magic that they see in this group, it has to be like the same level that they are going to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Let let me
What do you
explain.
mean? Do you
Yeah,
mean like if you're gonna teach someone magic, you should show them what they could possibly learn and not what they could do in 10 years.
more or less. For example, if they go to a magic show or if they go to see you to perform in a show, whatever, they are going to see like different magic with different levels of difficulty and everything. But if you're a professor, and I am an amateur, and a starter, a beginner, and you are going to teach me, and you have like level one, level two, level three, level four, and today is my first class. In the first class, even if I ask you at the end of the class, well, can you perform something for me? I just want to see some magic.
Mm.
Everything should be from level one. Maybe as a I don't know, as a gift, maybe just one little thing from a different level, like maybe level two or three. But why do I say that? Because maybe Magic Circle is different, and it doesn't matter. But I'm talking about personal classes or personal groups, like private groups of Magic, because because the student have to be, very into the thing, face to face with the thing. So if they
Mm.
feel like the magic that they are learning is really powerful, if they are very very, for example, I remember when I was learning, like the MSLA account, you know there were people who didn't know how to do the MSLA account, and they used to hold the packet in the same way that they used to hold the packet, the deck of cards for the diagonal count. So they couldn't do, like the MSLA account, because they had like a very strange position of the hand.
Mm.
Why? Because maybe they were learning the GPS before the MSLA account, So that's why. I remember, seeing, a very simple thing, using just an MSLA account, and being so amazed, saying like, "Wow, this is amazing," you know, and this
Mm.
is really important.
But I mean, on a completely different level, it also motivates someone more to learn more about magic because they see you do this, and maybe at the end of the semester, they can do the same thing. At the end of the
That
level, they can do the same thing. And
like a,
it's
like
not
an
gonna.
like an extra motivation.
Yeah, yeah, because now they can do it. Like, wow, but then what's more there? That question comes up. Or even it's if you would show them something from level 5 or 6, and they're level 1, they're gonna go like, how am I ever gonna do this? Like this is much too difficult. I'm like they can even get discouraged from seeing that, or they want to do it too bad and they start rushing through everything because they think this is the goal and they can never do it because they have been rushing through this whole thing to learn magic. So, but at the same time, they also don't appreciate maybe what you can do with those moves because if you say the more you know about magic, sometimes the less amazing certain things become. So if you know a lot about magic, you've been doing it for 10 or 20 years, you show people things. Of course, for you, much different things are amazing or cool than for people who are just learning it. But those people will never start to appreciate the simple, small, little things in magic because you're showing them now something that you learned after 20 years of studying can finally do. So you're not building their appreciation. It's much cooler that when they have these memories of these feelings of fuck, but you know, like how? And then when they're studying it, they can remember how it made them feel. And even if in 3 years they tell you, yeah, but that's just a stupid Amsterdam, you go like, yeah, but how did that make you feel when you saw that for the first time? And they go like, oh, that's why we use this move.
Yeah. What about books?
In what way?
What about books?
Yeah, but what about books? Like what? Like,
Yeah, what do you
you
think?
love them? Do you want to
What
fuck them?
what
Do you want to burn
no,
them? What about books?
what books do you think are the good ones to study? You know.
That's also a trap. What do you want to study? I mean, see,
Yeah,
because
because in English it's different than in Spanish. Yeah.
oh, definitely. But look, like this depends very much on where you at because still, if like, and depends on your budget also. Because if someone would ask me now with things that are in print and out of print right now, Rico, I'm a complete beginner. I want to learn about magic. Which book shall I get? Tell them get Royal Road. First finish that book, then move on to Expert Card Technique. If you can do Royal Road, you're better than 90% of the magicians out there. If you can do everything in Expert Card Technique, you're better than 99% of all the magicians out there. Other than that, there are amazing books. Depends what you want to get. If you want to know a lot of tricks, especially things with Beckett, get the Brother John Hammond book. Book is beautiful for that. But if you want to learn more about how to be natural, how to be yourself in terms of technique, study Vernon. In general, Vernon is great. I mean, I'm a very big Vernon fan. One of my first magic book ever was from Vernon. That's why I love Vernon. But at the same time, when you've been doing that for a longer while, like you've read Royal Road and Expert Card Technique, and then you moved on to Vernon, and then you moved on to let's say some stuff from Marlowe because you want to learn some more moves. Then at one point it becomes very essential to pick up either Ascanio or Tommy Wonder. And Tommy Wonder because he's going to make you have some realizations which are going to hurt, like don't think your audience is stupid, but also don't play too much with their emotions, because if you do a trick Magician in Trouble and you play this too far, they're going to feel hurt because they're going to feel like, I just trusted this guy, I was rooting for him, I was doing everything, I wanted him to make this work, and this fucking asshole all the time was just manipulating me to get a reaction because he knew all the time it was going to be alright.
Yeah.
But so those are important realizations when you start performing more. Same thing with Ascanio. It's important when you start performing more because you can start to understand this is the structure of a routine. This is what makes a good routine. This is what makes a bad one. Those are important things to understand. But you have to be performing magic to get the full grasp of Ascanio. You cannot know nothing about magic, pick up Ascanio, read through the book, and expect to know, like, understand the theory without having ever performed for anyone other than your mom. You know, you have to perform for more people. And that was why, for me, like, a really great lesson was I learned magic when I was still in school. I learned it through YouTube, which I'm very open about. I would say if you have the choice, if you see this, get books. Get Roy Wrote the Card Magic. If you say I'm not the book kind of guy, get Paul Wilson's Roy Wrote the Card Magic, the study course. That's a video together with the book. Study that. I didn't. I did it through YouTube. It made, in the beginning, made me learn a lot of awesome tricks, which I could perform a lot. And that part, performing a lot, really helped me. Because every day on school, to different people when I was 15, in the breaks, whenever I didn't have class, I was performing magic. So I was probably performing 2-3 hours a day magic nonstop.
You were the popular of the school.
No, just the magician. But that was cool because at one point, like sometimes it was really cool. Sometimes I would go by and I would look weird at someone, and this guy would scream at me like, "Yeah, man, what the fuck are you looking at? Come at me, bro, come at me, motherfucker!" And then all his friends around him would look to him and say, "Dude, shut the fuck up! He's the magician. He's cool."
Or the crib.
Yeah, but they were like, "Shut up! Maybe he doesn't show us tricks anymore. He wants to see tricks." And his friends would start fighting with him for me, and I was like, "Oh, thank you guys." That was dumb. But learning magic through YouTube in some way then also fucked some things up for me, because I learned technique in the wrong way. I learned to do a wrong double lift. I made it more difficult to learn it. And then when I learned books, got books already very quickly, I found a good fundamental. But I didn't have a mentor, but I saw videos of Michael Vincent, who is very good friends with both of us.
From who?
He's like, wait.
Michael Vincent.
Yeah, Mike, your friend?
Yeah, he's my friend.
He's from, is it like Glasgow?
No.
No?
It's from London.
Oh yeah, I met you the first time together with,
Do you know this country, England, the one who is in the Euro Cup? Wait. Which one is yours?
Wait, you mean the one who? We lost to England, by the way. But it doesn't matter. We were out. Okay, fuck this joke. No, look, but
Oh my god. I don't care, I mean...
before I became friends with Mike, I saw a video of him on the Fullest video. And this was the first time when I thought, that's how far you can take sleight of hand. The first time I ever saw this. Because I started because I saw a video of David Blaine. Then I saw much later, a video of Mike. Like, fuck, what is he doing to get where he is? Because before I was very big into video games, and I learned, I played StarCraft a lot. It was like Masters, which is like top 1% of the world in that game. And this is a strategy game, so you have to really analyze every match that you play in order to become good at the game, which is something that taught me a lot for Magic, because it taught me how to analyze movements, how to analyze myself, and how to become better. But it also teaches you, look, if you want to become better, you analyze these people who are really good at this thing, see what they're doing, you first copy exactly what they're doing, and then once you understand that, you're going to do your own thing. So I was like, I want to do what this guy's doing. What is he reading? What is he doing? And I found out he's reading Vernon books, and he is reading old Magic books. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. But Vernon, but the Inner Card Trilogy from Vernon. I also got Darwin Ortiz's book, like Lessons in Card Mastery, because Mike is big on Darwin Ortiz. And I just went from there, and you don't have to start with a specific book. But just like you said, I would recommend Roy Wrote, but for a complete beginner. But like you said, it's good to have a mentor. But not everyone has the opportunity to have a mentor, because they either might be dead, they might not be near you, or you don't have a budget for one. I mean, if you're really passionate and you're doing a great job, people want to do it for free. but you have to become friendly with them, be interested in them, and there's a great pleasure in teaching people things. But you cannot go around, never write these people a message and say, do you want to give me free coaching? Because those people get that so much, that's so annoying, because it shows them that you don't appreciate their time. Rather, you would want to learn some magic, or and maybe meet them one day, or ask them to have dinner with you or lunch. It's on you. I just want to talk about magic, ask you some questions, want to learn how to become better. Can we go to dinner? Or I would love to meet you. I love your work, whatever. Or a simple question they also don't mind answering. Not don't ask people, where did you learn that routine? That's an annoying question. That shows them that, hey, I saw you do this routine, I want to do it as well. And they're like, motherfucker, I studied 20 years to get this thing down. I can tell you, but it's not going to help you. But rather ask them, hey, I'm a starting magician. I enjoy this and this style. I like this and this type of magic. I started with magic because of this. I have these and these books, and I'm sort of stuck where I should go next. What book do you think I should buy? Like, what do you think would help me? Just very honest. And they usually then people are very awesome, and they just tell you like, hey man, thank you for reaching out to me. Thank you for your lovely words about my work. If you have those books and you like this and this magician, maybe it's an interesting point to check out these books. See, so
Yeah.
that's a way. But a different way is a lot of magicians that you see today that you might enjoy or you want to be like them, they are out on podcasts. They are out on blogs. They have maybe even YouTube videos where they're talking about these things. So another very good thing is just look around in the magic world, look at some performances, and at one point you're just going to choose one guy that speaks to your soul, speaks to your being, and to your mind, and you go like, I want to learn what he's doing. And you just go tunnel fishing, look what he's doing, look what he's reading. If you can't find it, find some really nice, kind, interesting things to say about his performance. Write him a message, tell him all those things that you enjoyed, tell him where you're at and what he did to get there.
Yeah.
But in most cases, you're going to be able to find it, and just go tunnel fishing, go freaking straight ahead and just read what he was reading, do what he was doing, and undoubtedly, you're going to get to where that person is.
And patience, it's very important as well, like, I mean, like sometimes you really want to meet someone, but you don't know why. You are like a
Mm-hmm.
fangirl. You're like, I want to meet him. It's like, but why? Why? You
Dude,
know?
I don't know, man. Like I still want to meet Tamaris, for example. But
Yeah,
I was
but
just imagining, like, if Tamaris would randomly be in my audience, I would be scared as fuck. I
yeah,
would
but
be
the thing
so
is,
fucking scared.
no, the thing is, why do you want to meet this kind of people? Because, for example, there are some people. It happens with Tamaris when you are close to Tamaris. Maybe when he was. Now it's different because now I guess he doesn't have like this energy that he used to have in the past, because now he's a little bit older than some years ago, but some years ago, when you used to be with him, he used to, I don't know, to have like an energy, and you used to feel like, what the heck, he's like a legend, It's like, so.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, sometimes you feel like very weird, and
Of course.
hold back, sometimes. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying about him, or the thing is, try to be try to be conscious about what do you want to do with this opportunity,
Yeah, but also try to
because
be conscious, I guess, when you're meeting someone that they're also just a person.
yeah, of course, of
Also
course,
shit, they also go to bed. But they're just one person that's really good at this.
yeah. Um, these people, they have their lives and their conceptions and everything, like. I always remember, like Miguel Gomez's story about the initiation ritual. Did I ever tell you about
No,
his story?
please tell me.
That's the best one ever. He has a show. It's like anthology of the Spanish card magic. It's a very beautiful show about tributes that he does to Spanish magicians. And he starts with a ritual. Okay, he's shuffling the deck. He does like poker demonstration. He has like poker, royal flush, whatever. And he's shuffling the deck, real shuffles, and in the end of the routine, the deck is in order. Okay, but he starts with a Fournier deck of cards, and he opens it's sealed, and he opens the deck and everything with flamenco music. Everything is like very with many details and everything. And he performs like 8 faro shuffles, riffle faro shuffles, 8 riffle faro shuffles during the ritual. And there was a Spanish magician, and I'm going to say his name, and he said, like, in a very colloquial way, Miguel, why don't you do like Zarro shuffle, like the way, like in a very funny way. Why don't you do Zarro shuffles? And Miguel said, you didn't understand anything. It's a ritual. It's like the other guy was Tamaris's pupil. Tamaris's student, yeah. And he said, you didn't understand anything. So the thing is, about the same story, I remember once Miguel Gomez was lecturing, and he said in the lecture, any other question to the audience in the lecture, and a magician said, could you perform the initiation ritual, like the number that you perform in the show? And he said, okay, let's go with another thing. Like, it's an initiation ritual, and he got like very angry. So because many people, are like not giving the importance to the ritual. It's like initiation ritual. It's
Exactly.
removing the seal, opening the deck, like in the context of the show, like with the people in the place, with everything, and it has to be done with the shuffles, with the specific shuffles and everything. So yeah, so a mentor, a master has to transmit this to the student, so that's the way. So yeah, well, so I guess that was all from my part.
I think that's a good ending.
Yeah.
All
so
right,
guys, thank you so much for being here today. Rico's going to tell you something.
Yeah. So yes. Who's the guy from Birmingham?
Subscribe.
Yeah. Soup is really no. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I want to thank all of our Patreons for supporting this podcast. And lastly, yeah, if you liked or you enjoyed this podcast and you got through to the last part where I was making a bad joke and fucking around, and you didn't already click us away, which the chance is very highly of that, then please, if you liked it, like our podcast, subscribe, share it with your friends. Anything of those things you can do would really, really help us out a lot. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next time.
Thank you.
Oh, wait. Now it's my turn. No, it's my turn, motherfucker.
No, but you have to count and then you have to say action.
3, 2, 1.
Action.
3, 2, 1. Action.